Hello, Odyssey. What's going on? Hmm. What kind of surgery? Examine and treat conditions in the abdomen or pelvis. Well, that's good. Nothing too serious. Hell, I'd be down with some 2 to 6 weeks off. What are you staring at, Python? Doesn't sound too fun. Makes sense. I generally don't have enough time to watch all the stuff that I want to watch. Then again, I play video games a lot. Video games sink a ton of time. Been doing a lot of research lately, but as of now, I've gone full socialist. I mean, individually. as in my personal beliefs and ideologies. It's about impossible to make the country socialist. There's a whole lot of propaganda that's been spouted and pulled in favor of capitalism that's led to a bunch of lies and all sorts of shit. Like, no one knows exactly what it is or the truth behind it. There's too much crap. But the more I learn, the more I like it. And the more I learn, the more I realize all the negatives that I'd been told about it are almost entirely all made up. Almost all of them. The bunch of people being poor, made up. The bunch of people being killed, it wasn't made up, but there's a whole lot more to that than people are aware of. And it's actually because of capitalism that happened. Very true. Although this isn't just, obviously, I kind of side toward America, but a vast majority of the known world is now capitalist, much to the detriment of all people other than capitalists themselves. And when I mean capitalists, I don't mean all people under capitalism. I mean the people that hold the means of production, wealthy people. And I just learned today that Einstein was not just pro, like, the idea, he was a hardcore socialist. In fact, he claimed that capitalism was evil, and that the only way that he could see progress moving forward was to abolish it. You'd grown accustomed to him. That's fair. He isn't. That's not really his strong suit. Although, um, it's worth noting that he was an extraordinarily intelligent human being, and that alone allowed him to see things that, like, general society don't see. And also, like, the whole paradigm of politics, or not complex politics, but just how a political system influences people and harm or helps them, doesn't really require schooling or any intense education. It's really simple. Interesting. I'll bet America wasn't one of them. It's a good sign. It means that all of the overwhelming evidence of Israel's fucking evil is starting to reach people. I watched a video the other day about public servants working in Germany were basically going on strike and rallying like hardcore against German supporting uh, Israel shit. It's happening all over the world. Although Kamala wouldn't have done much because she basically backed the same policies as Biden. She would have took money from AIPAC just like Biden did, but I think she would have at least done better than Trump. Trump basically is like, do what you got to do. He does not care at all, which shouldn't surprise anyone. What a lot of people don't realize is Israel isn't recently genocidal. They've always been. Well, maybe not always, but at least within the last 20, 30, 40 years. They've been doing bad shit this entire time, and America's been trying to cover up. There's also evidence that America has had boots on the ground there and tried to cover it up. Biden leaked it, and there's pictures of American soldiers that went down. And then they tried to, he felt that it would be a mistake to let it be known. Yeah, no, it's very, very bad. Like, it's not just him, the entire cabinet is full of like, if I were to like try to pick the worst people possible for each position, I would have to try to do worse. Like, it's really bad. Whole country is going to go to shit. And when I say that, I don't just mean for the left. I mean the entire country, including right wingers. Like, it's going to be really bad. And Trump's going to make excuses and try to blame all of the fuck ups on Biden and the left, blah blah blah, like he always does. But it's all going to be his fault. Pretty much, he only chose people based on their perceived loyalty to him, not on merit, not on their ability to do the job. Like, it's sad. I can't remember who's the woman from Hawaii. Tulsi Gabbard, I think. He made the fucking head of basically intelligence. Like, of all people, she's like mentally fucking retarded. Like, I don't even know what the hell's going on. On the bright side, it's going to be basically plunging or at least increasing the speed at which the U.S. is at a downfall, which is maybe for me and people living here not great, but it's great for the rest of the world. We've been fucking around in other people's shit, stealing resources and creating wars for false pretenses forever. So we're falling. And overall, big picture, that's a good thing. It's a bit slow today. It's not food, Python. You don't want no tobacco. Yeah, I honestly had kind of floated back and forth on him too. I couldn't really get a complete read, but it appears to be that he is. He did, though, on a good note, admit recently that Trump lied, and that's a good thing because Trump supporters tend to be unable to acknowledge when he lies, which is constant. So it's like amazing. It's like they're immune to it or they make excuses or some shit. Hmm. That's a little bit extreme. Dropping friendship over an argument on whether or not Joe Rogan is left or right. That's weird. Is he like a hardcore Rogan supporter or something? He is the most watched podcast in the world. I guess a lot of people have like been brainwashed or some shit, or like they think he's like perfect or some shit. I've had a lot of qualms with Joe Rogan. I really feel that he's not real. What I mean by that is I believe that everything he does is carefully orchestrated for views. He's a typical capitalist. He kind of tailors his content based on making as many people happy and keeping as many people tuned in as possible. And he does a lot of, I think he pretends to be dumb a lot because it's useful. He'll always do this like, "Oh, really?" Like crazy conspiracy shit or something, and he like kind of gets on board. And then the next time he'll have another person on that's like on the complete opposite side, and he's like, "Oh, really?" Yep. Rogan is in it for the money, 100%, and he makes a shit ton of it. Yep. I've only heard him actually like come out hardcore and like disagree vehemently with a few people like Candace Owens he did. But that's not hard. She's like the most retarded fucking person ever. But most people he just kind of plays this game so he can I guess, be perceived as likable and like he's pro whatever. That way he can just get as many people on board as possible. It's why he's so popular. Yeah, he is in general. If we don't get any more participation, I'm probably going to be wrapping up in the next 10-15 minutes or so. Maybe. I don't know. He might be busy doing something. He pops up frequently, but wouldn't expect him to be on every single time. I think you put in a comment something that it's like really early in the morning for you or something. If I read correctly. It's really it's not a good time for rash either, I think. This is around one of the only periods of free time that I get though. Well, periods that are constant that I can pretty much do every single week. Wonder if that has anything to do with daylight savings or something. Why is that? She wants to be there so she doesn't feel like she's missing out on something? Doesn't sound very fun. I don't think I've ever heard of people doing karaoke together online. What's the purpose of that? Do they like critique each other on their singing or something? That's awesome. What'd you do? Non-trolling friends. Awesome. That's cool. Always fun. I've been trying to get more right wingers coming on. They're a lot more fun for me. Not that there's anything wrong with leftists, but it's just fun. That's what my smile is like designed after. Inflammation of the foreskin. Is that an actual song? I do enjoy meeting new people, finding out what makes them tick. I'll take a look. Why do you say they're non-trolling? Did they not like that you were singing a troll song? I may end up having to frickin' advertise. I hate it. I don't really have time. Well, I have time. I just don't want to do it. It's boring. Ah, that's cool. As long as it's real. As in, not that fake smile type shit where they're just trying to manipulate you in some way. Why? What did acid do? Being a douchebag to everybody? I respect politeness, but I really, if I feel people aren't telling me what they want to say because of just to be polite, it really bothers me. I don't like it. Yeah, acid's like, he's like a typical trigger troll, but extreme. Like something's wrong with him. Like bad shit's happened to him. He's like a very messed up individual. He gets a lot of pleasure from like attacking and trying to cause pain to other people. Although I would let him on to try to be rude to me. He don't have what it takes. long as he doesn't attack everyone else, I would allow it. Is that why she had a good chat? Because she thought you weren't there? Oh, you're blocked? What does that mean, Myth? Cowards are going missing. Why'd you go to her stream if you have her blocked? Who disappeared? Who are cowards? I don't know what you're talking about. Fair. How are you typing if you can't see the chat? I do not understand. Patrick's funny, but he does sometimes get a little too much. The trumping. What was it, like hardcore Trump support? Maybe you've blocked everyone, Myth, or they've blocked you one. Trumpism. If you're only always thinking about people you know already, then why are you online? The internet's strength is that you're dealing with people that you don't know. Haven't seen Myth except for here in months. I haven't been in any chats in like probably a year or so. I'm bad with time. I don't know how long, but a really long time. You're here to clean what up? My chat? Is it in need of cleanup? Are you going to clean up my behavior? Because that's a hell of a task. The entire internet. Jesus Christ, that's even more of a hell of a task. You need to be on 4chan doing some work. Or the dark web. I was joking. You couldn't tell? I was being sarcastic. I'm very calm. So, does anybody want to come up? Yeah, Myth, come on up. Oh, Tyson and Paul. I'm not even going to watch it because I sincerely feel that it's scripted. I don't think it's real. I believe that pretty much all of the Paul deals is scripted. It's there to make money. I don't think that it's actual fighting. You have guards? I thought you said you were poor. Steve-O ran into Tyson's fist. I hadn't seen that. It's okay. You don't have to be an atheist. In fact, I prefer people who don't think exactly the same as me because it's more interesting. A lot of people run away from confrontation. I find that it's growth inducing. It's a good thing. I believe that you should surround yourself with as many different minded people as possible. Possible. Hmm. That is strange. Did he actually get punched? Or he like ran into his fist? How do you have people guarding you that are sent by taxpayers? I don't get it. The only guards I have are two 9mm, but they work pretty well. Interesting. I hadn't seen that. I'll figure it out myself. Okay. You know, you could explain it a lot better if you came up on stream. Who was the roast of? Okay, Myth, you don't have to answer questions. Does anyone want to come up here and tell me how evil socialism is and how it's terrible? I don't know. I haven't seen a whole lot of roasts personally. Like, I'm kind of looking at the whole election as a social experiment to some extent. I really want to see the reaction of Trump supporters, or at least people who voted Trump, when the economy goes to shit, because it will happen. Like, I'm banking that they won't acknowledge it. They'll claim that it was because of Biden before, or like Trump will make excuses and they'll believe everything he says, regardless of what happens. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen. But I'm really curious to see how it goes. That's fair enough, Myth. Nobody's keeping you here against your will. I know most people don't think that's going to happen, but it's going to happen. And when it does, I'll be here to collect data and to see how people react. So, like, I'm curious if anyone will admit they were wrong. Yeah, I feel the same. I'm really impatient because, like, it's people don't understand, like, Trump, and they don't understand what he's about and the things that he does and how they can't possibly be good for the economy. Like, it's not even possible. Everything's going to fall apart. And it's not me like feeling like defeated because my quote side lost. And would I admit if I were wrong if these wars end soon? Well, I never claimed that Trump was a warmonger, so why would I admit that I was wrong? However, I will say that a vast majority of the cabinet members he's picked are hardcore war hawks. Like, all of them. They're hardcore war hawks. So how could you think that he's going to be like anti-war with the picks that he's made? It's really interesting. Like, just because he said so? Because Trump said many things and lied about it in the past. Like, that's kind of what he's known for. He lies about everything. In fact, he holds the record of, since they started having the ability to fact check, he holds the record as the president with the most lies in history. There's an entire Wikipedia page with sources dedicated to all of the lies. I can't even remember how many there were. Although I will admit, like, I don't like Trump, but I'll give him credit for anything he does that I like. If he stops the war in Ukraine, I'll give him credit for it. Yeah, well, it's also true that he created conflict in Syria and in Lebanon, I think. So it's not true that he's the only president that never was involved in any war. That's bullshit. It's just like he says things and people just think they're true because Trump said it. It's so weird. Also, I wouldn't really consider him good at being peaceful unless he's making efforts to stop like violence. So, in other words, him America is pretty much the only country in a direct position to directly influence the mass genocide in Gaza. And I guarantee you he's going to do nothing to stop that. So if you want to claim that Trump is the peaceful person that's all about good, like trying to help people with human rights, then he'll do that, but he won't. I wonder why. I know. I'm very well aware. We will see, though. We will see very soon. Unless you make like 200,000 or more a year, Trump is your enemy. He's the enemy of every human being on the planet that's not the elite. He doesn't care about you. Yes, Odyssey, they forgot. Well, also Trump just lies about everything. He claims that all he has to do is go, "I did a really good job with COVID." And then they're like, "Yeah, he did a really good job despite the actual numbers." I've always admitted if I'm incorrect about something, but it has to be something that I actually said, not something that you placed on me. Like, for example, what started, like, would I admit that I was wrong if Trump doesn't start any wars or something? I didn't claim that he would start wars. Like specific claims I have made, like that he's not going to stop the war in Gaza. Like, I have made that claim. Do you want to bet against that? Patrick Rowe, you have the IQ of a sun-dried tomato, dude. You ain't got nothing to say about intelligence, bud. I didn't. Oh my God, you're retarded. I didn't say anything about betting against wars. I don't think you understand what I was talking about. That is true. And many of them are Trump supporters. One, has nothing to do with intelligence. Two, you don't know how much money I have, Patrick. You're making guesses. And your life is not better than mine. That's why you're always angry and attacking people, because you're miserable. Sorry. The truth hurts sometimes. He did win by about 5 million votes. That's true. And that just shows you that there's more dumb people than smart people. There's not very good information in this country. Not many people know anything about politics. They just vote emotionally. And that's by design. It's why Trump wants to gut the Department of Education. More stupid people equals more votes for him. More people like you, Patrick. It wasn't actually a landslide, but it was, I will say that he won by more of a margin than I thought, than I would have believed. Yeah, I haven't done that in years, dude. And it also has nothing to do with anything. Twinkle, twinkle, fruity pebbles. Patrick, are you homosexual? I wouldn't judge you if you were, but you're starting to make me wonder. No, it wasn't, and some states are still actually counting. It was actually really close. Patrick, we've been over this already. You don't have a brain, dude. When you call someone stupid, it just means they're probably smart. That's the thing. People don't understand they vote against their own interests. Like Patrick is fucked because of Trump, but he's like he's like one of those morons that's like, yeah, fuck yeah. Like he'll be getting shit on and lose everything and like barely able to survive, and he'll still be like, fuck yeah, Trump. Identify as if you've won the election. I don't understand what you mean there. Patrick, make up your mind. It wasn't actually a, hold on, I'll actually put it up here. It wasn't actually a landslide. It was not close, you stupid ass dummy. Pat, dude, you just say the opposite of whatever anyone else says. Like, you don't even have an opinion, dude. Like, you don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. You just, someone says something and you just say the opposite. It's hilarious. Like, I can't even make this shit up. The point is, you're worse off, you dumb fuck. The point is, you're going to be worse off now than you were under Biden. Do you understand? It's not complicated. My side won and I still store my Harley under a tarp. No. And I agree with George Carlin on this, by the way. A lot of people like to twist it and turn it around and say you don't have a right to complain if you didn't vote. It's the other way around. When you vote for someone, you're literally part of the process of electing them. So people who voted for Trump are directly responsible for the economy getting fucked in the next few years, and it will happen. So, but me, I didn't do shit because I realized that it's fucking, you're fucked either way, and I didn't really care that much about either choice. So I have every right to talk shit. Pat, dude, we've been over this. You're not intelligent. You don't get to call people idiot. It means nothing. It's like you don't realize that you're making yourself look like a moron. You don't clean your toilet, you don't clean your house. That's not relevant to anything, Patrick. That's because I don't care about shit. I care about things that matter. Not stupid shit that you like obsess over. You're a sad, sad man, Patrick. Yes, most comedians are extremely intelligent and they use humor to actually put real points across. I have no idea about his history with the Air Force. There's a high likelihood that he couldn't make it. He probably didn't want to make it because he realized that this country is a shit show. And it's not difficult to make it in pretty much any area of the armed forces. And it's sad because you're basically just a moron that does what you're told. You don't know anything. You're not, you don't get explanations of why you're doing the things that you do. You're just basically a bootlicker. Yeah, Pat. You try too hard. And you defeat yourself is the sad thing. Because of the kindness of the people, then you're a bum on SSI. Pat, you know almost nothing about me. I'm not on SSI, you fucking moron. You just like want to constantly attack because I make you feel how low you really are. Like, I don't even attack you directly usually unless you attack me first. But just seeing me makes you angry because I'm confident and I actually know what the fuck I'm talking about. So you get angry because you see it and it makes you realize how worthless you are. Let's talk about this. I know you're calling me an idiot, but as I said, it means nothing. You're a moron. Being clean does not matter. Matter of fact, in many ways, it's detrimental. Several healthcare professionals has made the claim lately that we are too clean for our own good because we are too obsessed with hygiene and it's actually making our immune system worse. Have you ever noticed that wealthy people that are like extremely ultra clean tend to get sick more often? I've thought about it myself, but I decided instead I'm going to stay and fight. You dirty, dirty scumbag. Are you intelligent? We don't have to really discuss it, Pat, because you think I am. It's what motivates you. It's why you're so jealous. He didn't make it. That is the fact of the matter. Self-confessed very good can stacker. Because I was good at stacking cans doesn't mean anything. I don't think you understand why you defeat yourself. You have like nothing. That's why you have the IQ of a sun-dried tomato, as I said. You're only here for my entertainment. No, looks aren't everything. What matters more than pretty much anything is your morals, which you have none of. I probably know more about the military than you do, Patrick. I probably know more about pretty much anything than you do, Patrick. Just being honest. Except for maybe whatever you did for a living. And I don't mean the military. At least I think you did something else, if I remember correctly. Not wanting to clean and not being able to clean are two different things, you extremely stupid human being. It's an ignorant fool, not a ignorant fool. Do you know what irony is? At least give me a challenge, Pat. You're starting to bore me. The funny thing is, you're not twisting the knife. You're making yourself look like an idiot, and you're showing that I'm right, that you feel threatened, that you're insecure. Every post that you make confirms it. I don't think the blue states will secede. I don't think it's going to be anything that extreme. I don't think it's going to be a civil war or anything like that. But I know that people aren't happy, including right wingers. Many Trump voters are starting to realize that he's already gone back on several of his promises. No, you don't, Pat. You're not very good at lying. And you're not smiling. If you are, it's one of those fake smiles to try to convince yourself. Mm-hmm. You're not very good at this, Pat. No, being clean does not matter if you don't care about being clean. It's pretty common amongst intelligent people not to care about things that are small in the grand scheme of things. Like cleaning. What a waste of time. You're trying too hard again, Pat. You're like typing out like lines like crazy. You're all angry probably and clenching your teeth and like, I'll get that motherfucker. It's probably hilarious. I wish I could see it. You're like too easy to get going, Pat. You're like a puppet. Maybe if I brushed my teeth, I would still have some. Now you're going to tell me you didn't have nothing to do with brushing your teeth. A vast majority of my teeth issues, one was caused by fights in my teenage years, and two was caused by calcium deficiency. Why do you assume everything, Pat? It makes you look stupid. You just make assumptions over and over and act like it's like, I know I'm right, but you don't know anything. You're a moron. That's what morons do. They assume everything. That's why I'm pulling your strings so easily. Vast majority of my tooth. Why do you think having credit is relevant to anything, Pat? You're proving my point for me. You're not very smart, dude. You have street cred. Why are you trying to pick yourself up? Do you feel defeated right now? Like, why are you trying to like bring your ego back up, dude? No, I didn't. Well, I cleaned it once because I had a plumber come out. But no, I don't. Generally, I don't do that because I don't care about it, as I said. Which is one of several reasons why I'm better than you, Pat. Because he's fat. In comparison to you, Patrick, I'm a fucking saint. Tex-Mex? Is that the real Tex-Mex? First General Order. I don't know what that means. What is the first code of conduct? I don't go by a code of conduct. That's for dumb people. If you're asking me what matters to me morally, it's mainly not thinking that I or any subgroup of myself is better than other people. Like being white is important, for example, that my nation is better than other nations. I don't have commandments. I'm not religious. I have a brain. Military? Oh, I don't know about that shit. I know about what matters, not dumb like specifics. I know what they do, why they do it. I know that they generally don't, they're essentially brainwashed. It's like a cult. I know. It's sad. It's like you're trying to find some specific thing to prove that I don't know about the military. But what I do know is important. What you know is like dumb shit that's not relevant to anything. Like, what is the first general order, like, of the military or whatever? Like, who gives a shit? It's not, who cares? It's dumb. Come up here, Pat. I'll tell you about my atheism. The hilarity. You believe in a magical dude in the sky and you think that you're hurting my feelings? Where you're going every day is Halloween. I wish every day was Halloween. In which episode did Batman beat Superman? Essentially, that's what he's doing. It's some random, like, reference that's not really relevant. At night, do you hear the cry of your kittens? Pat, dude, you are not good at trolling. You are very triggered. Would I consider myself a warrior? Depends on what you mean by that. I generally don't use the term too much. If you mean like people that have this concept of honor and they'll like fight bare knuckles and stuff, no, because I have a brain. I believe in winning at all costs. That means if a person comes at me like, and it seems like there's a high likelihood or even that there's a pretty good chance that they might be victorious, and I am like I'm in a defensive situation, if that makes sense, as in I didn't create any sort of conflict and someone's trying to attack me, I'm going to put a hole in their face with a gun. That's what smart people do. And if you believe otherwise, I think that you are like, you're proof of natural selection and that your genes should not be put forth. I don't, Patrick. In fact, I don't think you can ever find one case where I said that I was intelligent. And that's what I meant earlier. You think I'm intelligent and you project that onto me. It's why you always talk about it. It's why you feel so insecure. I don't know. I might make another dancing video. That was fun. Yep, that was good times. Is that where your jealousy stems from? Is that why you're so obsessed with me? You don't know anything, Patrick. All you are is bullshit assumptions, and pretty much everything you've said so far has been wrong. Because you're a moron. That's why no one takes you seriously. I don't even think you take you seriously. You're boring me. Come up here. The meltdowns. I don't think I've been watching. Is it like the first Trump presidency when the left was crying in the streets and shit? Is that what you mean? I have been so far, but it's still kind of boring. I mean, it's not challenging. I might, Pat. Patricia was arguing with 504 on the stream, and maybe that left him not wanting to be on any stream for a while. I don't know. He's like really angry. He's really like hardcore, like wanting to attack everything in the world. It's weird. Worse than that. Really? I need to look into this. Freggin' fruity tooty. I called. See, he attacks everyone. He's like, he's miserable. If you don't have credit, you ain't got nothing. That's pretty stupid of you, Pat. I wish I could say I was surprised. I think you're projecting, Pat. I'm like right here on video, like having a good time trolling you. You're high strung and like pissed off with your teeth clenched, like all red faced, punching your keyboard or your cell phone or whatever. What is a pog? I don't even understand that term. I don't care, but I didn't want to. I care what would affect me because a plumber that solved my toilet would probably end up saying, fuck you, I'm out. What he did with Angry was another level. I think maybe Pat's going through some like age-related issues or something. Like he regrets being old or something. I don't know. And he's like taking it out on everyone. Someone in the military who wasn't combat arms. Oh. Does POG stand for something? Is it a abbreviation? Who all was involved in that combo? If you're not a troll, you're psychologically worse off than I thought, Pat, because you only attack people. Like you never have any agreement or anything. It's like something's wrong with you. Person of Garrison. Oh, interesting. Learned something new today. If he calls me a troll, then he's a simp. How is that in any way related? Do you know what the definition for simp is? That makes no sense at all. Melody, Hydra, Meatbot. I don't know Hydra and Meatbot. Sounds interesting, though. But I go wherever I want. Nobody does it better. Not even the chairman of Grand Central Station. You're doing that thing again where you're trying to bolster your ego. Are you feeling like defeated right now, Pat? Max Memes is pretty funny. I swear, Pat, you make people think you're homosexual with the way you talk. Fruity, Tooty, Big Forehead, Egghead, Conehead, Nostradamus, Stonehenge, Area 51 covets forklift driver's license. Very weird. Now we got all caps. Tinker Artillery or Cab Scout. Pogs. I would imagine that, although in my opinion, generally you don't find a lot of high IQ people in the military in the first place, because the military is kind of like a place where thinking for yourself is not really thought of very highly. People like me, for example, like I could never just go to a place and be told what I've got to do, no questions asked. I've got to know things. I've got to understand like why I'm doing it and all the details. Like generally, like people with higher intelligence don't do it in the first place. Like actually the statistics bear that out. I don't want to hear about your atheism. Why are you bringing it up then? I haven't even been talking about it. I could change you into a God-fearing man in a minute and about 30 seconds. Then come up here, Pat. Come change me into a God-fearing man. If you score low on the test, infantry has the lowest requirements. It makes sense. It's not thought of highly because of unit cohesion more than anything. That makes sense too. Patrick's calling you out. Don't do anything too entertaining. I'm packing a bowl, not weed. I'm too boring for weed. What's up, Hitesh? It's not a question, Pat, and you're a fucking pissant, dude. Like, no one cares who you think is a warrior. No one cares about your opinion at all. Like, everyone sees that you're like some insecure dude, like constantly attacking and berating everyone else. You're a bitch. And those low score infantry are the ones who defend you home. That is true. Although in America, that's not necessarily the case because there's really nothing to defend. No one would ever attack the United States. It's suicidal. Mainly, infantry is sent to like destroy other countries. Jesus Christ, you guys, I can't keep up. I'm a coward, yo. That's pretty much what I just said. You mean like when you pulled a gun on them people that were playing music? Yes, I already explained this, Pat. I have a brain. I'm not stupid. I don't have honor. Honor is a concept that dumb people have. It's like wishing that you were no longer alive and you don't care that your genes continue on or not. It's hilarious. Irony. No, Pat can't prove God. It's why he won't come on, especially after he claimed that. Thought you were 126 pounds. It's true that there's a possibility that someone might attack the United States, but even if it does, I'd see it as a good thing. Just being honest. I do not think you're intelligent. I think you're stupid. Pat, we've been over this. You have like the lowest IQ of anyone in this chat. Your opinion of intelligence is absolutely irrelevant. You think I'm below the level of stupid. And if you think I'm jealous of you, you're also delusional. I'm actually fairly certain you're jealous of me. It's what explains your behavior. Nothing else explains it without some sort of holes that I couldn't quite fit. I think that you're extremely miserable, and for whatever reason, I make you envious, and you just have to constantly attack to make yourself feel better. And that's why you constantly claim that I claim that I'm intelligent when I've never done so. Because you feel that I'm intelligent. It's kind of funny. It's like you troll yourself. Jesus Christ, you're going on a rampage, son. You're more pissed off than I thought. You live in your own stench. You brag about living in your own stench. My goodness, you're a waste of human flesh. Nobody in their right mind would be jealous of that. You sound like you're trying to convince yourself, Pat. Not even good ones at that. Unless anybody wants to come up, I'm going to be wrapping up probably in the next 15 minutes. It's been about an hour and a half so far. Pretty much. If you'll notice that people that like to rely on ad hominems, it's like it's never regarding the argument in question or the point that's being made. It's always like you're talking about politics and then they're like they make some sort of like personal attack that's completely irrelevant. And it shows you that they have no ammunition. They have no actual points. You're a smelly stinky. You have tore me up, Pat. I am hurt. Even if someone comes up, it's going to be no more than another half hour or so. I can't do more than 2 hours. I just don't have time for that kind of stuff anymore. Yeah, but they do like to ask you a lot of questions, though. Have you ever noticed that? I generally don't have a big problem answering questions, but anytime I direct them toward them, they start getting all dodgy. She's doing pretty good. Thank you for asking. A lot better than she was. Pat, you haven't made a point. You're just saying that I'm an idiot. At least when I call you a moron, I explain why you're a moron. I give you illustrations, examples of why you're stupid. Like, so everyone else can see how clear it is. You just say you're stupid. Nah. You cannot argue with stupidity. You've made not one single logical point so far.
Hello.
What's up, Gad?
I was playing a video game. I just got off and I noticed you were on, so I was like, oh.
It's all good. I won't be going any more than like another half hour. Right now, I'm just trolling Pat.
Yeah, I caught a little bit of it there while I was dicking around with things.
What were you playing?
It's called Going Medieval.
I haven't
It's
heard
still
of that.
it's kind of early access. Yeah, I've had it for like a year and a half, 2 years now. It's coming along slowly.
Interesting.
I get on their Discord. We share different, like you can build like castles, whatever you want, cities. You got to harvest a resource, survival, kind of thing.
Pat's making assumptions again.
That's all he ever does. He just tries to trigger people. That's his whole MO.
I know. That's why it don't work, because everybody knows that that's his entire thing. So it's like there's no filler behind it. It's like meaningless. It's just an attempt to attack aimlessly. It's like it's not meant as in he don't believe the things that he's saying, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
It's kind of like Pooh and SK, and there's a couple other ones that do the same.
Who's S? Super Crumb?
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I've seen him.
That was always his MO. Like, he'd just say things just to piss people off, just to get a reaction out of them. That was his only goal.
That's boring to me.
Yeah, I don't know what they get out of it.
I think it has, I don't know, but I think it's something like, I think they're miserable and they somehow feel better about themselves by trying to bring other people down.
That's a lot of it, too. Yeah,
It's
they want to
weird.
drag people down to their level.
I've been doing the Warhammer like freaking crazy.
I was playing the vampire counts here the other night.
They had a patch and gave them halberdiers or something, I think.
Yeah, I started it during Halloween or whatever. They had a thing. Hey, play as, and I'm like, all right. I haven't played them. They suck because you got to fight, like, manually fight almost every battle, or you're just going to get your ass handed to you in the auto resolve.
That's true. I don't like when they don't have proper auto resolve like AI, like they don't properly gauge what it would be like, and it's not
Yeah.
fair.
I have some games that actually like simulate the battle, like in that Age of Wonders 4 game. They actually simulate the battle as though it's two AIs competing against each other if you auto resolve. And then if you don't like the outcome, you can be like, I'm gonna redo that, and then it makes you manually fight it.
There's a lot of mods that help with stuff like that. There's one called AI General, and you can literally go into not auto resolve, but you go into the battle and you can choose how many units you want to turn into an AI. It's useful especially if you're like kind of lazy and you just want to fuck around. You don't want to like micromanage every single thing.
Well, that's me sometimes. Like I'll send like dog packs or like horsemen over to my flanks, and then I'll just forget about them completely.
I've been on Empire lately. I'm doing I can't remember her freaking name. The newest
The new
one,
chick, yeah.
Nuln and Wizenlin. It's fun.
I just got done kicking the shit out of her.
Who are you playing as?
The Vlad.
Oh yeah, so you kick her ass soon.
Well, the funny thing is, I vassalized the Empire. I vassalized Carcassonne, the Bretonians, and I also vassalized Grom, the big old goblin guy. They're all my
Really?
vassals. I don't know how I did. I'm like, what the fuck is going on with this game?
That's awesome. I always like to vassalize Ulthuan if I'm ever an evil faction because they make insane money, so it really brings in good revenue.
I like the high elves. My favorite though is the Chaos Lords, the different not the god ones like uh Scarbrand, but the new like what's her face, the Valkyrie chick and stuff.
Valkyria the Bloody.
Yeah, I like her.
Most of the chaos ones are fun, and I like that it adds more options because you can use technically any of the units from any of the mono god factions. You have limitations, but to me, it's just more fun because you have so much more variety of play styles.
Yeah, I like the troop rosters much better than the straight demons.
Mm-hmm.
The Chaos Tours, that's the other one I really like. They're really fun to play.
Where's the best place to educate myself on purchasing a new gaming and editing computer? You know the answer to that, Gad? I'm not really good with that. I just went on Amazon and picked up something. I don't know
um,
shit.
my your best bet, for, like I did, would find a local hobby shop, like a small owned, like kind of the owner runs the shop basically, because you're gonna, I think, get better customer service that way,
Hmm.
and see what they can build you. Tell them what you want, price range, and then they'll build you something usually to fit that. And then usually you'll have a warranty on it, 2 year, like 1 year probably unlimited warranty, and then after that just parts and something.
Oh yeah.
Fuck Best Buy. I tried buying two computers through them. Each one I picked up, they're broken. I had to take them back. I was like, yep, just give me the money back. I ain't doing with this shit. And I
I've
went
heard a
to a local.
lot of bad stories about Best Buy. Not to mention their prices aren't that great either. It's like
Yeah,
there's no good side to them.
well, all those gaming PCs that they sell, they have a shitty motherboard, so you can't really upgrade them. So your main thing you want to build off of is a really good motherboard, and then from that you can add anything into your computer.
Mm. I decided to go full socialist today. Most of the things that has held me back in the past, I believe, are propaganda. I honestly can't think of any legitimate downside or any meaningful downside to socialism. The things that I used in the past, like for instance, lack of competition, making it to where people don't have proper incentive, that's not true according to what I'm learning. It's like all bullshit, which makes sense because think about it. If socialism wasn't so great, why historically has America especially been so afraid of it and stomped it out the moment it's gotten started every single time?
Well, a lot of that kind of goes back to the robber barons after FDR. So
Mm,
the robber barons started a lot of the propaganda. You know how capitalism's so great, socialism bad. The
mm-hmm.
Cold War was going on, the fall of communism. So they're blaming socialism and well, they put them in the same boat together. Um, and yeah, it was basically the robber barons taking back what they lost through like FDR. Oh, FDR was a huge socialist.
Mm-hmm.
And then he got elected 4 times, and then he put the limits in the 10-year limit, and then he did a lot of works programs like the highway system.
I,
Eisenhower went through with
I
that.
think that he was the last president who wasn't bought and paid for. That
Yeah,
sounds kind of crazy, but I really do believe that.
well,
Like,
I would say Eisenhower is the last one. Eisenhower, when he left, he said, "Do not trust the industrial complex, the industrial
really, I
military
don't I don't
complex."
know much about Eisenhower at all.
He was a Republican, but he was right after FDR, World War II,
Hmm.
kind of.
Interesting. I might have to do a little research on Eisenhower.
He's on the dime.
Oh, really?
He's the guy's on the dime.
Interesting.
He's an overall good president, but we haven't had any good ones since then.
Right. And we won't unless the issues are dealt with and money's out of politics.
Which it's kind of funny is because like Nixon was the downfall of the Republican Party, but also he was one of the great ones of the Republican Party because he passed abortion into law, and then he
Mhm.
also did the EPA, and then he tried to do a universal basic income where he would just got rid of social programs and we just all would have a universal one.
Interesting. I
So
haven't
he was
heard of
actually
any of that.
very progressive for a Republican.
That's how it was before. Like we weren't as hardcore as we are now.
When they're bought and paid for now. So now
Although
they're
be
speaking
fair,
parts for the
it's only in
corporation.
America that it's hardcore. Like I've heard a lot of these advertisements that shown up and had been like when the race was still running, they would be like Kamala, way too liberal, like too extreme of liberal or something. What Americans don't realize is we have two right wing parties. We don't have a left at all. Like we do not have a left on the world
Not even that far
stage.
left.
Yeah, on the world stage, we are right wing 100%, both of the parties.
I think we kind of need an independent Labor Party, basically,
Mm-hmm.
to divide it up, and that way one party doesn't really get majority rule. I mean, it'll just be broken up into three parties, and they all have to work together.
I don't think they would allow that to happen, but like even if it did, you'd still have to get money out of politics because I think most anyone is, other than like a Bernie Sanders type person, it's human nature to be influenced by greed. Like anyone can be bought off. So it's like we still wouldn't, in my opinion, it wouldn't change much unless we get money out of politics.
Well, and I don't think we can get money out of politics unless we have a third party to break it up, because they're not going to vote for their own pay cut.
Of course, they're going to make it more, they're going to make it impossible pretty much. Like the only damn way to do it is like through a fucking revolution.
We kind of need another French Revolution, basically.
We do.
A,
I've been
a
saying it
people's
for a while.
revolution.
I unfortunately don't think it'll be happening anytime soon. People are too brainwashed and lazy, and like Americans tend to just be like, give me my next shiny thing, like the newest iPhone, and I'm happy. And they don't care if we're killing people overseas or.
Give me the little bit of dopamine for as little effort.
Yep.
That's it.
They don't even care that they're all getting fucked over.
Now, you cut the power off, or you cut the internet off, then they will get up.
That's true. That's actually me. Yes, but see, that's not my point. So that's more like identity politics. That's Biden is 100% establishment dim. So when he does something, he basically wants to make people think he's throwing a little bone to the base. This is how American politics has worked for a while. I use the ratchet analogy. So the way a ratchet works is when a right-wing person or a right-wing candidate shows up and they have the presidency, what happens is everything clicks and starts turning right. Click, click, click. They start making new policies and everything. When a left-wing president comes in, it stops. It don't go left like you would think it would. They'll give you like maybe one thing, like, hey, we won't let you starve to death or something, like something tiny. And then they'll just keep things like absolutely as is for 4 years. And then the right wing will win on the next one due to the Overton window. And then it'll click, click, click. So we are constantly moving to the right and never going left. And it's on purpose because the people on the left aren't really left. They take money from the same people that the right wing parties take from, which their every interest is in fucking everyday people to make more money. So it of course is a conspiracy, but I 100% believe it. I don't think Biden is actually, or Harris, any of them, any establishment dim. I don't think they're left wingers at all, and I don't think they give a shit at all about anything about the left.
It's saving face mostly, what they say.
Pretty much. It's sad, but that's what I believe. And
Bernie's the only one out for the people. Well, I mean, there's a few other independents that won, but he's always elected hands down.
mm-hmm. I really do believe that if Bernie ran again, he would have won this election. Given the state of everything, even with the Red Scare shit and he's a communist, all that, I really think he would have won.
Debbie Wasserman Schultz fucked him out of the last one because of the whole primary. So they fucked him out of the primary, and then I just didn't even vote. I was like, fuck it.
Yep. I haven't voted since, and I won't vote until I see something that I'm actually excited about. I don't do lesser
Yep.
of two evils voting.
The only time I registered to vote was for Bernie, and then I got told I couldn't vote in my primary.
Yep.
Fuck them.
Money is
Oh,
just a
and then I got
substitute.
federal fucking jury duty because I fucking registered to vote. Oh, fuck my life.
I doubt I'll be doing any voting anytime soon. Not until things change, if they change.
I kind of
I've
did like Andrew Yang. He had a universal basic income platform, which he's younger too. He wasn't some old geezer.
I don't know much about him really. I haven't heard about him.
He was like kind of a tech bro, kind of came out of nowhere and then disappeared.
Was he independent?
He ran the Democratic ticket. He ran back with Hillary ran or no, not Hillary. 2020. Something like that.
I'll have to look into him. I might like him, although he's not in the game anymore.
I'm
I
not
still
sure what
like to
happened to him.
learn.
Yeah, I remember I watched Second Thought. They had about that ratchet thing about how everything always goes right. Nothing ever goes left whenever.
I thought it was kind of crazy until I took a moment and I started thinking about it, and like that's exactly how it goes.
Yep.
That's what's been happening for years and years, and it makes absolute sense.
Probably Carter was the last one where we seen anything go.
Mm-hmm.
Can't
And
remember
when
what it
you say
was.
anything, it's like something serious, like actually doing something that matters.
Which Carter got fucked over hard too because the Reagan administration, they went behind his back and told the Iranians, "Hey, hold the prisoners until I get elected, because it's going to be good optics for me to get reelected by securing their freedom." But Carter
Mm-hmm.
already secured their freedom.
Wow, sounds about right.
Republicans are some of the most shady people I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm. They are, in my opinion, the definitely the more evil of the two, but Democrats are still bad.
Yeah, Democrats are the ones that'll lie to your face.
Mm-hmm. Republicans, in some ways, are a little bit more direct. Like they'll tell you straight up, like Trump is like, and I'm not really taking up for him, but at least he's straight up. He's like, I'm going to cut taxes for the rich. He's telling you who he is. And like he lies a lot for sure, but like at least when it comes to like the wealthy and shit, they're direct about how where they stand. The Democrats, they take money exactly the same, maybe even more, but they lie about it and act like they're in the interest of workers when they don't give a fuck about workers.
Well, and it comes down to the ignorance levels too. Like the reason socialism never took place in America is because everyone sees themselves as a temporary disillusioned millionaire.
Yep. Well, we have, even I'm guilty to some extent. We have been so propagandized from an early age, like individualism, everything. Like it would be very difficult to get people to come together to an extent that would be necessary to create that. Like I don't see it happening anytime soon. We're too individualistic.
Well, that's capitalism. It branded us with that oh about being independent. Basically, you gotta everything's mine, mine, mine kind of mentality.
Right.
I need to have everything for me, me, me.
Mm-hmm.
Rugged individualism. That's what I was thinking of.
True. And I'm very individualistic in some ways, but when it comes to like people, the big picture, like I'm not. Like when it comes to like what's best for everybody else, I want everyone to be, I don't know, to have a fucking chance, not to be some shithole to where like people are like we're told that it's about merit. If you do the research, almost none of it's about merit. It's mostly nepotism when it comes to like generational wealth in America. it's almost always like you're born into it, and then if you're like poor and uh you pretty much stay poor and it stays that way throughout the generations. There's a couple of exceptions, and they point to those exceptions, like say singers that were like
Bill
really poor.
Gates.
Yes, and they'll point to those and they'll be like, "See, in America, if you work hard enough, you can do anything." But it's all a lie. They just they allow like the less than 1% of people, and they
Well,
use
I
that
know a
as
good
like a
example for that is Thomas Edison and Nikola Tesla. Nikola Tesla was the one inventing all the things, and Edison was taking those and patenting them as his own, and then selling those products and only giving Tesla a pittance of it.
mm, yeah, yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
That's why Tesla was like, "Fuck you! I'm gonna go make my own company. Fuck you, big time."
Yep. Oh, Pat, you're still triggered.
Yeah,
You're perma triggered.
that armchair captain.
Pat, why are you the only person? Well, actually, I'm going to take that back. I was going to say, why are you the only person that feels like you're twisting the knife? But I don't believe that even you think that. I think that you know that that's bullshit.
I think his hemorrhoids are just inflamed.
Maybe. Who's Tubby? Pat?
I never got their anger. They're just always so angry.
I don't know. I think they're just miserable. Well, one thing is for sure because we've actually proven it through what's that shit called? It's like a type of scan that shows brainwave patterns and stuff. I don't.
Was it like a CT scan or something?
It
I don't
might
know.
be, but like we've shown in various ways, they have larger amygdalas, and that means that they're driven more by fear. And it makes perfect sense because conservatives, everything they think about is about fear. Fear
Hmm.
of like losing their jobs, even though all of the research shows that that's not true. Fear of all others, fear of other nations, fear of other countries taking advantage of you, like China, even though
People don't look
China
like them.
has, yeah, everything is fear to conservatives. They're like afraid of their own damn shadow.
They're unevolved. We're the more evolved, I guess you'd say, in the brain area.
If by evolved you mean intelligent, for sure. I don't know what
Well,
you
our
mean
brains
exactly.
developed in a way to not be fear. We can see fear, like things that would fear make other people afraid, but it doesn't affect us that way.
Oh yeah, yeah, for
So we
sure.
override that primal instinct. So I'd say it's more of an evolved
Pat,
human.
dude, you've really got to work on your lines, man. It's the same thing over and over. It's boring.
I see a lot of it with his generation, actually. Just the lower IQs.
Yeah.
Kind of goes back to how that guy, I don't know if you remember that TED talk, that old guy saying about how each generation gets smarter because, I mean, we just have more tools, everything.
Mm, true.
And just boomers, just, they didn't have the education we have. They don't know how to use computers like we do. I mean, they were never taught how to teach themselves necessarily.
Right. I agree with you, Austin, but I personally I wouldn't I would use the distinction the way you said it. Caution is intelligent. And certain like given that the thing you're cautious of, you have some informed reason to be cautious of it. But fear is different. Fear is extreme. It's like if you look at it as a spectrum, fear is like you're you're constantly on edge. It's why conservatives are always so fucking angry.
Well, and that's why so many of them do so many shootings and everything.
Yeah, it makes absolute perfect sense once you think about it.
There was not too long ago, there was a black kid. He was going to get his sister from a friend's house. He went up to the door and it was the wrong house. The guy got up, came out, and shot the black kid.
Hmm.
The kid ran into three other houses before somebody would help him, and they made him lay on the ground until paramedics got there. They
What
treated
the
him as though he
fuck?
was a thief. Yeah, that's a
Of course.
conservative neighborhood for you.
Of course. Pat, you are so confused, dude. I wasn't talking about me when I was talking about money. I was talking about all of American society, you fucking retard.
That's another thing they do. Anytime you say anything like a general statement, they just try to pick it apart and then tack you with what you said.
Mhm. And the sad thing is they don't realize that everyone else sees how stupid their point is, except for them.
I see Andy do it a lot. I'm sure I do it a lot too, especially when I'm tired.
When I'm tired, I'm a fucking retard.
Oh yeah, man, I start spelling all kinds of words wrong.
Yep. Pat, do you know what nepotism is, dude? I'm just curious. Pat, you don't have anyone, dude. You hate everyone. Everyone dislikes you, or at least might think you're mildly amusing. But that's about it.
It's his EQ levels that are extremely low.
Right.
Emotional intelligence is a big shower of somebody's actual intelligence.
To some extent, yeah. Unless you have like a disorder in which you can't for whatever reason, then you can be good in certain areas but be really shitty in EQ. But in general, when it comes to like G theory proved this, like usually intelligent people are intelligent across the board, which includes EQ, as you're talking about. The thing is that kind of destroyed Garner's theory of multiple intelligences that became popular for a while because everybody wanted to be like, there's like many different types of intelligence, and some people have this and that and whatever, but like G theory kind of made it to where that's no longer prevalent.
I think anybody can be proficient in any field as long as they put the effort into it.
Oh, sure, but that's not necessarily intelligence. That's
But
just
you're also limited by your intelligence as well.
right. Absolutely. Gonna give it about 5 more minutes, and then I've been going for about 2 hours, and I think I should give that one up. I don't know, Angie.
Patrick's gonna go to bed mad.
Of course he is.
Yeah, tug one off in anger. Damn Charles.
He's gonna like think about me naked and like fap it out. Pat, why are you trying to like make yourself feel better? Like, it's weird. I have to leave, Austin. I have to do other things. Namely, I have to like kill some people in Warhammer.
I'll have to play against you one of these times.
You'd probably destroy me because I'm a very not hardcore type gamer, meaning that I play to like escape reality. So I'm like, I play on
What?
easy and shit.
Oh,
So like, I
oh,
don't
you
know
playing
that
easy?
much.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I
I'm
play on.
not a very good player.
I play. Well, I've been playing on very hard, very hard.
Yeah, I noticed. I saw you got some achievement for a very hard thing on there. I saw it the other day.
Yeah, I don't do legendary though. That's for masochists.
That would not be fun to me. The AI isn't really that intelligent. They just artificially inflate their stats. That's how they make them
Well,
that difficult. I don't like
yeah,
that.
they have one town, not even a capital, and they'll have like 5 armies on legendary. It's like, how? I can barely afford one.
Yeah. It's I don't like how they've set up difficulty in that game. I really don't.
And you have to choose. I don't like playing like Legend of Total War, where it's just cheese everything. That's no fun.
Yeah, he even says it. He's like, "Well, we're going to get you through this. We're going to use some cheese." And then all of his people will be like, "Cheese." And I'm like, "Jesus Christ."
Yeah, I like to enjoy games. I a lot of times I try to play it as realistically as you would in a realistic environment, like my armies and how they're built and everything like that. A very
Mm-hmm.
balanced army.
Yeah, that's more fun to me. I like to kind of get immersed in it and like, feel like I'm whatever faction I'm playing, and I'm actually doing what they're doing. So I want to like be it. So I don't want these like doom stacks and shit like cheese play. It's not fun.
Yep.
Not my thing.
You're getting the itch.
Yeah. Well, 2 hours here lately has been about my max anyway. I can't do much more than that.
I start getting sleepy.
Yeah. Well, it's not like it's boring or anything. It's just I feel like I need to do something else. I can't just be here chatting and talking the whole time. So 2 hours to me is about like the point where I can no longer go.
Yeah, I haven't been playing a whole lot either lately.
Playing what?
I have
Warhammer?
nothing.
Oh,
Nothing
really?
really.
What have you been
Just
doing?
working mostly.
That sucks. Unless you like it.
Eh, my body's getting used to it again. It's that whole build up all the mass again.
Mm.
Muscles getting worked that haven't worked in a while.
That used to help me if I looked at it as a workout, then it wouldn't piss me off quite as much.
Oh, and I go at it full bore. Like I have cuts all over my arms because I didn't realize. I just get so into it.
Mm. I know I don't need to play games. I do it because it's fun.
hmm It's a escape from reality.
Yep. Because, well, this fucking country is shit, in my opinion. And I
Well, when
don't
you grow
like
up
it.
in the middle of nowhere and there's not shit to do, but sit and listen to fucking crickets chirp, video
Hmm.
games help you get through that.
Yep. I will stop playing video games when we have a society that I fucking like. And I am too lazy to do all the work for that. Well, honestly, I think we're not ready. So I'll just be wasting my time because we have enough people who've been working on this for years and years. We're just not ready. I wish we were.
Yeah, it's just humanity's not ready yet.
Yep. I don't think so. So if we get close, then I'll fucking jump in and I'll join the fight. But right now, like I really see it, it'd be a complete waste of my time. That's how I feel. Too many people are brainwashed.
In the times of peace, prepare for war.
No, I wasn't talking about atheists. I was talking about like socialism in general. But about atheism, we are definitely not ready. We still have a majority of the country that believe. And have you ever tried to convince a religious person that they're wrong? Because I've done it a
Sometimes
lot, and I very rarely have I succeeded, and very rarely does anyone succeed. It's like that's something that takes a lot of effort and time to get through. So I
patience.
honestly don't see us. Yes, patience. I don't see us getting there in the next like 10 years or so. Like,
Well,
just being
did you see
honest.
the numbers now? Like atheists and now make up like 1.3 billion people now.
In America,
Yeah, we're like the third largest group now.
that's good, but like, it's we're the third largest group, but the first largest is massive. So it's like we're still way down.
Yeah, 2 million Muslims, like 1.8 billion
Hmm.
Christians, and then us, and then like 500 million Jews, and the
Yeah.
Hindus and Buddhists, and
Well, see, I've used their book against them numerous times, but they don't see it. Like it's logical, and you're right, but they will use mental gymnastics to twist it and be like, you don't understand. And they'll cherry pick. They'll be like, all the good things they like are true. All the things that are evil, they'll be like, you're misinterpreting it. You don't understand what it really means.
you don't know the context
Yeah,
of it.
you can't get through. So it's like I enjoy debating, but it's mainly for the third party people, just being honest. If I'm on here and debating a religious person, I'm not trying to change their mind because it's almost impossible. I'm
hmm
trying to get people who are on the fence that are watching to sway in the direction that I want them to.
Yep.
When it comes to like people who are like not on the fence, it's just it's a losing battle most of the
It's
time.
hard to convince somebody they dedicated their life to a lie.
Hmm. It's part of their identity. It's like
hmm
most of who they think they are is reliant to some extent on that religion. It's a very powerful thing.
Well, their networks they built. I mean, everything that they built in their lives is based off of that. Usually, like my
Hmm.
family, they're very tied to their church and everything.
Yeah. All right, guys. I'm gonna roll. I appreciate you popping up, Gadwin. It was good hearing from you. And all you guys, take it easy.
Now don't OD now.
I'm not gonna OD.
I know Total War's fun.
Very
I
fun.
I was looking at my hours. I have